All right, Fat Bass Podcast.
We're back.
We're
June
back.
21st.
We're back June 21st.
Pierce had to take a vacation to Bahamas or wherever he does
Yep.
now, like
Yep.
a month long.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
Don't worry where I'm at in my business dealings.
You got some white powder stuff that you brought home with you. I don't
Sorry.
know why.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Must have been a free vacation, it sounds like.
Yeah. We don't ask too many questions around the Fat Bass Challenge. So,
Well, it is July, hot.
whew, it is hot.
Still night tournaments are still sanctioned.
We've had some pretty good ones. Pretty good. I mean, Braden Wilson is leading it right now with a 6.5.
Yep.
Yeah, that was
tournament?
a night tournament. Yeah.
Next month's the last month for night tournaments.
Better get in while you can while they're eating at night.
Yeah, I would be out there during the day.
I know I'm not fishing during the day.
I think as soon as you catch them and you bring it out, it cooks it for you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's to that level, which we've had a pretty easy in the Midwest. I mean, it's only recently got hot.
Right. It's like I didn't even know last month was that bad.
Yeah. I mean, last month wasn't bad.
Wasn't bad at all.
No, but July's been pretty rough, but
yeah. Oh,
you know, it is what it is, I guess.
What it is.
But no, we've got Frank Flack on today. He's a really good dude. We've known him for a while back in the solo pro days. And Frank, how you doing, man?
How are you doing? Glad to have you. Let me be on your Fat Bass podcast. I've been watching you guys. It's been really good, and watching you guys grow and get more and more people in there. It's been pretty exciting. So,
is it entertaining, or do we need to start throwing like cups at each other? And
well, you probably could find some better looking guys to be doing the show, but it's pretty entertaining. No, it is. Yeah, I mean the subjects each time has been really good. So yeah. No, I find it interesting. So, yeah.
I mean, we are ahead of the game. We got so many inside connections. We know all the news coming out.
There you go.
We are the first to hear about it, Frank.
That is true. We're the first.
You're the first. Well, Frank, give us some back. I know you're a military guy. Did you get to fish in the military?
I mean, that's it. I kind of got really lucky, and it kind of intertwined there for a little while. So, I was in the military for 21 years, 20 plus years, I'd say, and served in the conventional army, and then did about 7 years there, and then went into the special forces and got to do some things, see the world, and was stationed out of Fort Campbell and Kentucky, and got to meet some really interesting people, and because I was right there, an hour away from Kentucky Lake, got to fish on some Great Lakes, the Tennessee and Cumberland River, and meet some big time fishermen that came through when they did. And I happened to meet a gentleman by the name of Bernie House that was a sales rep for Falcon Rods and Wigglewort and a few others, and went fishing with him. And when I retired, he asked me what I was going to do, and I was like, I don't know. I'll be a postman, be a truck driver. I don't know, do something. I said, my resume doesn't really pertain much to anything, when I put it out there. And he said, you ever think about being a sales rep? And I said, don't know what that is. Yeah. And then he told me, and I became the motor guide sales rep for the Southeast for a while, Optima Batteries and a few others. But how the military got involved, when I went into Afghanistan, I took a BFL sticker with me and put it in my little vest pocket, and we went into Bagram, and then we went into Kabul, and I was standing in front of the embassy, and in front of each embassy is a little placard that's kind of dedicated, when it was built and when it was, initiated and all this other good stuff. And I just kind of held my BFL sticker up and told my buddy to take a picture of my little box camera, and sent it home, got it developed, and another person I knew sent it to FLW Outdoors, and they took a liking, and I was on the first cover of the first FLW Outdoors magazine. They took me in and let me fish some tournaments as a co-angler as in the FLW tour part, and got me hooked up with that's how I met Gary Clouse, who was at the time at Stratus and eventually Phoenix, and that's how my friendship with him began, and that's how I got involved in fishing and got involved in knowing a lot of people. And then when I became a rep and was the motor guide and Optima Battery rep, I even got more entwined because I was required to be at all the bass events that were in my territory, which Kentucky, Mississippi, Alabama, and so that was in Tennessee. So it was a lot of fun.
So were you one of them co-anglers that you brought 8 tackle boxes,
no,
16 rod?
Well, I think the most I ever brought was maybe 4, and probably only fished with one the whole time. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't a shaky hit. It was usually, I remember one spinner bait was the whole time. The other time was flipping a tube on Beaver Lake. That's how I got to meet Andy Morgan and become good friends with him. And that was the first guy on Beaver Lake that I actually fished an FLW with. And between him and Paul Elias and Kelly Jordan, God, I can just name them. It was fun times. So.
Yeah. Did
You know,
you do pretty good on them? Like, did you do the whole full
I,
season?
I fished two in the back of the boat, and I cast a check in one, and the other one I didn't. And then I realized that's not where I wanted to be. And I at the time they were called the Everstarts, and I fished the Everstarts for 2 years as a boater. The very first one, I think I came in 20th or whatever. On the first day, I was like 10th, and I'm like, oh, this is easy. And got me a nice check, went home, and then fished 6 more and never even sniffed a check. So, but it was a learning. That was just the experience and the learning and just seeing how these guys did their stuff. I traveled with Terry Bolton, Andy Morgan, Ramey Coastal, Dan Moorhead, and all those guys, and Chad Grigsby. I got to see how they did it, and how they struggled and how they didn't struggle, and I knew it wasn't for me. Let's just put it that way. It's a lot tougher than I think some people think it is. So money wise was a big deal. Paying your entries and traveling and having to stay and eat, and then when things broke down, my first trip to Okeechobee, my truck broke down, and I remember I'd get it to the ramp and go fishing, come back, get back to where we were staying, and it would break down again. And I spent half the night trying to get it back online to be able to get me to the boat ramp again. It was just crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Gary must have made a big impression on you because you followed him. Now he's at Phoenix. So I don't know if he injected you with something, and then you just like.
Yeah, I don't know. It was one of those people. I'm sure both of you have. It's just somebody that you just connected with. I mean, he and I will not talk for a little while, and then we'll get on the phone, and the next thing we know, we've talked for 4 hours. And it's just like we picked up right where we left off. He's just a great guy. Teresa Johnson, is there too. She was in Stratus. She was part of the building of Phoenix, and Hank Baker, both him, and they're all just great guys, girls, and I should say ladies, because she's a wonderful lady. And
well, now Gary does he still fish on one of the tours?
So he fishes some. He's kind of doing opportunity fishing, I would say now. He decides he wants to go do something, and he go does it. He was fishing the Bass Opens for a while, trying to qualify for the elites and get to the Classic, and did pretty good with it. But running a company and everything else, and it can be kind of tough. So
yeah,
no, it's great.
How'd you get with Hornady? Hornady?
Yeah, so Hornady. So not everybody says Hornady, it's Hornady. And but I was guilty of that when I first started. But anyway, that's being a sales rep. So when out in the Southeast, we were the Motor Guide reps and the Optima Battery and a few other smaller lines. And I was actually out fishing one day on a slower day with a friend and on Kentucky Lake. And my boss called me and said, hey, want to know, would you be willing to come out to Kansas City and take over some territory out here? We're going to resign the Southeast lines. It's not working out, and don't want to lose you. But if you're willing to move, we'll take you. And I said, well, what lines would I have? And they mentioned Hornady, and I said, I'll come. And they were like, well, wait a minute. We don't want to talk to the wife. I'm like, we're both military brats. I can't remember. I mean, I think combined we've moved like 30 some odd times, so I was like, this is just another move. And
you'd become a realtor.
Yeah, and then just to get out and to work for Hornady, I knew there was a chance to make money, but it was also I loved to shoot, and to work for that company would be a dream of mine, and so we did it, and that's how we came out. So we've got somewhere between 13 and 18 different lines that we represent. So it's Hornady, Christensen Arms. It's called AOB Cutlery, but that's Bog and Hoagie Man and Uncle Henry, Old Timer, Smith and Wesson knives. We've got Fix-It Sticks, which is a tool, a little kit that for on the range with ratchets and stuff, so you can put scopes on and off, and just be able to have a tool that's a tool kit that's small that you can bring it back and forth from the range. MTM Case Guard, which is a plastic molded boxes, anything from big crates to little cases to put ammo and stuff like that. So yeah.
How long have you been with them?
I retired in 2004, so I'm probably getting close to 21 or 22 years now. I did 20 something years in the military, and I've only had 2 jobs, really 3 jobs in my life. So, but that's it. So yeah, very, very blessed and very lucky. So yeah.
Are you hunkered down where you're going to stay?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, more or less. We had originally came down here and kind of set a timeline, but I will tell you that at first Kansas, because that's where we first lived, was in Spring Hill, Kansas. Way different than Tennessee. You know what I'm saying? And so but we were here for the experience, and then we decided to move over here to Lee Summit, Missouri, and a little different, but we've gotten used to it and got friends and kind of made this home now. And so yeah, I imagine we'll stay right here even after I retire from this job, whenever that will be. So.
And you fish a lot. You should just move closer this way where you got Tag Rock, Lake-O, and all
Yeah,
those other.
we had discussed it, but I live on a little lake right here in Lee Summit. That's it's fun. It's kind of a hidden little secret. And shoot, we've had 20 pounds, 19 pounds, 18 pounds win these tournaments on the weeknights. Just a little 4-hour little tournament, so it's not a bad lake. So
what's the fattest bass that's come out of there?
This year, I want to say it was a 6-something.
Okay, it's not
But
bad.
I believe there's bigger fish in that lake, and we get every tournament. We'll have 8 to 12 boats, and there's every boat will have at least a 4-pounder, 4+ in it. At least one. So
Yeah, that's fun fishing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really surprising. We got lucky. We got some grass in it for about 3 years, and that really helped. And even though we've tried. The HOA's tried their hardest to keep the zebra mussels out of it. They finally got in there, and the lake is both lakes are crystal clear. There's a little canal that connects both of them, and I mean you can see 8 to 12 even farther down in some places.
Does that mess with the fish? Is it just like now you got to use clear water tactics?
Well, you do. You always, I try to go as light as I can, but I think it's putting them a little deeper, and it has changed some things up. When we had the grass, it was a learning lesson for a lot of people here because they've never been to a lake like Gunnersville or whatever, and so then they got adjusted to that, and then we lost the grass, and now it's this. Now we have the zebra mussels where you go put a worm into a brush pile or flip a dock and set the hook on a fish, and all of a sudden it's like boom, and you come back and your line's frayed 3 foot in either direction. And it's because of them.
No way to get them out.
I really don't know what the answer. There are some fish that eat them, but I don't. I think there is some kind of
probably Asian carp.
No, actually, it's like a form of a bluegill or something. It's one of those.
Really.
And then there's some kind of a deal that you can put around your docks or your lower units that will actually keep them away, but I don't think it gets rid of them. I think but how do you protect? I mean, they come in on the birds. They, you can't really. It's hard to keep stuff out of it. I mean, how many stories you talk to a farmer that built a little barely an acre pond for his cattle to walk around in or whatever, and one year he goes out there and he looks down and there's minnows in his lake. He's like, how the heck did that get in there? Well, they came in off of birds or turtles or whatever else that got in there, so.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you the secret how to catch fish and your Clearwater Lake there. Nobody knows about it.
So this is obviously going to be a joke because we all know that we're going to catch fish.
It's breaking news.
Yeah.
It's a Corky.
Oh yeah,
Corky. Well, they do like I call it the COVID bait because it looks like the but they do like it here. I actually the one with a 19+ pound stringer and they all came off of that bait.
No kidding.
Yep.
You caught it?
What's that?
Did you catch it?
We caught with me and my partner. We both caught. We caught them both.
So Frank is pro urchin or what's
COVID
ball.
COVID. But they enzyme or whatever they call that thing. But if you look at it, it kind of looks like the little picture that they brought out there with it. But they seem to like it. I don't know. All we were doing was just flipping it to docks and let it sink and jerk it a little bit. I've since then come to the conclusion that you got to work it fast like a jerk bait and throw it out to the bank and just jerk it back and let it sink. And I don't know what they claim. At first I thought maybe they thought it was a school of minnow, but now I'm getting an impression that maybe they think it's just a big bug. I don't know, but
yeah, I've just seen a lot of the pro anglers being like, just the water displacement on it is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, I still haven't fished with one. Of course, all the fishing that I do, but I still haven't fished with one. But they seem to be catching a lot. When they
hit it, they smack the what out of it. And I watched the video the other day. A guy was keeping it on top and like looked like a popper, was just like, and they were smoking it on the surface.
So how do you like to throw it?
So I rig it on 22-pound test fluorocarbon, and I've got used to be the rep for a company called Spintech, and it was a treble hook company that the treble hook spun around the shank, and so we was supposed to be able to so the fish wouldn't be able to use the bait for leverage, right? It would just spin. And I still have a bunch of them left. So I've got, I think it's the number one that I'm using. And, you've got the little hole that you punch through, and then Jewel Bait makes a little, what they call their fuzzy keeper or whatever it is. And so it's got a beveled end on one end, and then a stem, and then a hole, and you push that through. So the bevel end stays on the bottom end, and then the little hole, you take one of the hooks on the treble hook, punch it through, and then bite the bait a little bit. And then there you go. You're ready to go. And
does it sink fast? Like, I mean,
well, so they're weighted. Those jewel keepers are weighted, and 1/16 or whatever, and so that's how you. But depending on how big they are or whatever, some will float without a weight, and some will sink a little bit. With what I've got on there, 1/16, they seem to sink pretty good. So. Yeah.
Now, how'd you get your hands on them? Since everybody, so
a friend of mine, actually co-worker, just said, "Hey, have you seen these?" and sent me a text, and I was like, "No." And I looked them up, and I was like, "Well, I'm just going to try them," and just went ahead and bought them. So yeah, same way I got the first baits. There was same guy just said, "Hey, I know this guy that's making these," and you couldn't find him anywhere, and he actually had some available, and I got some sent. So
you think it's gonna phase out like the A rig used to be real good? I mean, you could catch, but we went back to jerk baits. Me and Keegan caught more on jerk baits this year than we did A rigs.
I think like anything else, I think they do get what do you call it, adjusted or see it and start to go, wait a minute, I'm not gonna, what I'm saying. So they may get a little cautious, but I think right now it's here to stay for a little while. I mean, I don't know if it'll be as successful as the A rig. I mean, there's still guys that use it, but you got to admit, like you said, people were putting the jerk baits down, and that's all they were, putting it over a brush pile and just running it. That's all you heard in the winter. But I mean, that goes back to the forward facing sonar, or that. I mean, that's what I think has been more of a game changer, combined with a bait, whether it be the jerk bait or the A rig or a spy bait, or even this COVID or this urchin bait deal.
Probably get banned now. Thanks, Frank.
Yeah.
So
what do you think? I mean, as far as forward facing sonar, I mean, do you use forward facing sonar?
So I don't use it. I'm not, I mean, I use it. Don't get me wrong. But I still fish what I like to call traditional way. And so I'm using it as a tool, I've got my Humminbird 360, and then I've got my, forward facing sonar, which is Garmin. And I'm using it to, there's a brush pile over there, or I'll look on my 360 and see, there's something over there. It's get close enough where I can put my forward facing sonar on there and see what it is. And if I see a fish, I'll pitch to it, but I don't got my head down and sitting in one spot and just trying to work on, a fish or a school of fish. I use it as more as a tool to find them. And then if they don't bite, I move on. I can't stand just sitting, and that's me. I think that's the older generation compared to the newer generation. I don't feel like I'm being productive unless I'm moving and trying to find more active fish. And where the older generation is just, the newer generation is to sit there, and they got the patience to work on one fish that looks like it's a 5-pounder and catch it. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, heck, if you look the All-American was won by an 18-year-old this year.
Nah.
And he was using forward-facing sonar, so.
I think locally, though, we got a lot of rain from March till pretty much June.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure some tournaments, around the area, it played a factor, but I don't know, that water was so up and down. I didn't hear a lot of that.
Yeah. Well, when they're in the bushes, good luck. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to, I mean, how useful is that going to be? So I guess you could use it to make sure that, go out, look a little deeper and see if there's anything out there, but, it's not going to help you in the bushes. So,
yeah.
But it's a tool. I don't get all upset. I'm not, I'm not like some of the guys that are just, anti whatever. I realize it's all a tool. I do believe that the new Garmin, those two new transducers out there, I don't think that they're going to be that much of a factor that I rushed out and got one on order. I don't, the separation, is supposed to be the big deal. But as far as picture wise, I mean, I can tell you go to my lake here that I was telling you was so clear. It is unbelievable. But let me go to Truman when it's muddy and it's not that great. You know what I'm saying? You can still see it, but you know what I'm saying? The image, it all depends on water clarity. So
one guy told me, he says, if you got the 32 and you jump from the 32 to the, I don't remember if it's the 44, 42, 44, like you'll notice a difference. If you got the 34 and you're jumping to the 42, you probably won't know much. We'll see a lot.
So the biggest thing is they're saying is the separation. So it's, you're going to see the tree and you're going to see the bait or see the fish that is separated. So, it's off the bait, it's off the tree and not necessarily right on the tree or whatever. But it's something I think you've just got to be able to fine tune it and get your eye adjusted to it and be able to understand what you're looking at. So, it's a tool like anything else, and it's never going to go away. That's where the money's at. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to have a pro circuit or whatever, that's where the money's coming from, because it ain't coming from the bass boat sales or the lure sales, because you can't sell enough corkies to keep somebody on the water.
eBay, they were $250.
Yeah.
I might be able to sell them at that level, but
yeah,
What do you
$16.
think? What do you think the answer is? Because I know, like, you look at a lot of the pro circuits. NPFL is banned forward-facing sonar. Bassmaster is XYZ tournament. You can have it, you can't have it. I mean, what do you see the solution is? Because obviously the viewership has gone down quite a bit.
Yeah, I can't tell you the last time I watched one of those shows. I may have YouTube just to watch something just because I didn't have anything else to do, but as far as a live show, I don't think I've watched one in a long time. And I sell Bubba, and we are the innovators of Score Tracker. You know what I'm saying? So, but the answer is I don't know. NPFL is kind of running a fine line. They're going to have to find a bunch of non-endemic sponsors, because they're not. Why would Minn Kota and Garmin and all these guys want to support them if they're not going to support what's their biggest key is selling item, right? So,
man, I didn't think of that.
yeah,
You think everybody was divided there, and then
there's
you
a
got
big divide right there.
Yeah, a lot of people. I didn't think that they may lose Garmin just because. Hey, I'm not gonna sponsor you. That is interesting.
Yeah, I mean Garmin, you're right, Minn Kota. I mean, that's real money too.
Yeah, it's real money. I mean, of course they got the trolling motors and everything else, but still, that's real money. I mean, to look at this new, just to get the first this upgraded puck, $1,900 just to get the puck, and not included your screen and everything else that goes with it. So I mean, that's a lot of money to a lot of people. So I don't know. It's been that way since I fished back in the days. The PAA, they were supposed to unionize the anglers, and they were going to make everything professional, and there would be retirement, there would be medical, and there would be all this. And problem is, it's the only thing it really compares to is, and it doesn't really 100% compare, is like NASCAR. I mean, you're your own individual team. You're required to get your own individual sponsors. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you're competing with all the other teams to get it. How do you get all those guys to agree on one thing when you're trying to make all, your individual sponsors happy as well? It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So,
you think it was quite a bit different from the time you started fishing, with Gary and all them other guys?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the level's the same, as far as fishermen, or
I think it's tougher to get sponsors, because I mean, things have changed, because it's gotten so much bigger. I mean, I'll give you a good example. Boats nowadays. Back in the day, you had memo boats. I don't think there's that many of anybody getting memo boats. And memo boats were, you ran them for a year and you turned it back into the factory or to a dealer that owned that boat, and you were just running it to give pro rides and to get the word out about, whether it was Phoenix, Stratus, Ranger, Javelin, whatever, right? But when there was more and more of them out, the government got involved and wanted to know, well, those boats are running on the roads. Individual states want to know why they're not getting taxes, because you know what I'm saying? You're driving the roads as well. And so then it became a big issue. So that's when memo boats started. That went away. So
we're starting to see a few boats come back given away, like OMTT. So we're starting a little bit
back, and it's hard for me to, I'm like, wow, I'm saying this back in the day, but when I was fishing on Kentucky Lake, I think there was 5 boats each year, or 5 tournaments each year that I knew were giving away boats. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, and they were one-day tournaments. You know what I'm saying? Of course, the Triton Owners Tournament, that makes sense, right? But we had a Coca-Cola Classic that was out of the Barclay Lodge there. They'd get 300, 400 boats or participating in it. The grand prize was a brand new Stratus. That was incredible. And Motors, Austin P tournament out of Paris Landing. I mean, they'd give a boat away, and I ran me and my partner won a motor there one year, and that's just, you don't see that anymore.
True.
You just don't see it.
Yeah. That's just the industry. Are you up to speed on this? Was it the world? Is it the World Bass Enterprise or Bass World Enterprise? Have you heard of that?
No, nope.
So it's what are they paying out? $3 million. So guys basically taking like 50 anglers, 25 for bass, 25 or whatever. It's broken up into bass anglers, NLF anglers. I don't know if he said the NPFL or not, but I just listened to something today that like if me and you subscribe to their pay-per-view, it's gonna happen in the fall.
Right.
0.5 million is going to the winner. So if I pay for the pay-per-view,
there you go.
have a chance to get in it. So you could fish against all them guys for $1.5 million.
I think I saw a thing on social media about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was listening. He was on Low Budget Live, Luke Duncan and all them, and he's talking about like they're paying out $3 million. Riley Green concert, big expo. Some dude made a lot of money and
that's crazy.
Giving it back.
Let's go.
Where is it supposed to be out of?
It's in Tennessee.
So it's okay.
What lake is down there?
Nickajack, Chickamauga.
Right. No, because they're having it. It's got to be close to Nashville. Got to be close to. Might be Wheeler. It's close to Nashville.
Well, then you got Percy. Well, that's not on the Tennessee River. Old Hickory. It's on Old Hickory.
Old Hickory. That's it. Old Hickory Lake.
Yep. Old Hickory.
$3 million.
Yeah, it's like $1 million for 1.5 for the first, and it just tears down. Live a Riley Green concert, expo.
You mentioned something right there, the pay-per-view. That's what a lot of people don't realize is that it's not about the anglers anymore. It's about getting the pay-per-view money. It's about getting all that other money in for whoever's running that organization. I'm not necessarily mean this tournament that we're talking about, but I am talking about, all the other ones that are out there. So LF and all that other good stuff. So, but it's more about that than the anglers. That's what went away. And that was kind of made it concerning was that, it was when I started feeling a little different about the sport was if you remember when the FLW had all these teams, remember the Cheerio team, the freaking whatever, Kellogg's team and the U.S. Army team and all that. They'd get these guys, and a lot of them I knew that were truck drivers, contractors, whatever. They were good fishermen on Kentucky Lake. They didn't necessarily travel around, but FLW went to them and says, "Hey, we'll give you a truck and a boat and $60,000. You're going to go fish the FLW tour." And what they didn't realize was $60,000 was to pay. The entries were paid, but that was to pay for your expenses, not to actually pay for your family to survive. You know what I'm saying? And you got 2 years. If you don't make the championship in the third year, you're gone. And I saw a lot of guys, quit their job, lose their families, just lose the deal because they didn't make the championship at all. That's pretty rough.
Wow. But you didn't think that was a good, like it looks like to now, of a marketing wise, it seemed like that would be better marketing. Mm-hmm. As a 4-man team, 5-man team compared to
so again, in my opinion, I mean, I got to be careful here because I don't. But the guys that did well were the guys that weren't necessarily the contractors and the truck drivers, but they had families that had money that could help them out. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and those are the guys that are still around today, huh?
It's an expensive sport.
It's expensive sport is right. I mean, when I was fishing the Everstarts, I had one major sponsor. Well, actually more than that. I got a memo boat from Stratus, so that was a big freaking deal. But I had another organization that paid me $3,000 and something that paid all my entry fees. But I still did all my expenses and all that. Now I split. We all roomed together and ate what you had to eat and do whatever else. But man, it was, if you're not cashing checks and I had the job as being a motor guide rep. So that was different. I didn't quit a job. I was supposed to be at that tournament anyway. You know what I'm saying? So, but I remember one time on Eufaula in Alabama on the first day, you weren't allowed to have your cell phones out. You could put them in your dry box, but you couldn't get on them, use them, call anybody. That was a rule. And so I went in there, unless I heard the phone ring, I could check it. I could tell my co-angler and he'd let me, I could look and he could see that I wasn't calling Joe trying to get a tip on where to go fish or whatever. And I remember coming in at weigh-in and I pulled my phone out because I'd already checked in. I was good. And I had like 45 freaking emails and like 20 different missed phone calls. And they were all from my dealers or whatever else. And I'm like, what in the hell am I doing here? Where am I making money and where am I not making money? And it was just like, you had to come to Jesus and realize what to do,
So if you wouldn't have got all that calls and emails, you may have kept trying it.
I probably would have, but I was starting to feel guilty. A very supportive wife, Teresa. She's always, this is something that you love, you dream. I was a soldier. I didn't make a whole lot of money, and we didn't have a very big savings, but what we had, I started thinking about, I was spending on these trips, and we could have been using to take for both of us to go on a vacation, you know what I'm saying? Or something else, you know what I'm saying? I felt selfish. And that's when I realized, well, I could be a little fish on somebody else's pond, because that's really what was happening. You'd go to Eufaula, my first time there, you had all these guys that lived there. They were fishing it. Guess who won? You know what I'm saying? And then, or I could stay home and be a decent fish in my own pond and win some money. And so that's what I did. I started fishing local BFLs and everything else. And it came out a lot better for me, if you know what I'm saying. So,
Well, what are you going to fish this upcoming year, then 27?
So I still have I fished that, the SQ tournaments this year and squeaked in, and got qualified for the top 100s for next year.
Good.
So I'm going to do that. I also fished the Heartland Elites, and they've got one more that's in 2 weeks from now, and I'm sitting in like 10th place with that right now. So
is that the championship or is that regular season?
This is the final regular season tournament that's coming up. So
yeah, he had a pretty cool thing with taking that guy to ICAST. I think I kind of seen that he was posting, and then the road to the opens, the striking road to the opens.
So that's what got me on there, because if you can finish in the top 3, you get a chance to go to the roads to the open and see what happened. I thought that was I was really surprised that they didn't get more participation, and hopefully they continue that next year and the word gets out a little better. Because I really
don't think the word got out very much.
I don't either.
Yeah, it was news to us.
Yeah, we had him on. I'm like, that's a pretty big carrot to dangle in front. Yeah. And the ICAST, like you could go to the ICAST. I don't remember how you qualified to get to the ICAST, but
you were the Angler of the Year for the team trail. For those, you finished the top and go. Good for him. I've been to ICAST. It's not that exciting. So, but. But no, I think for somebody that's never been and to get to see that side of the fishing industry and to get to meet some people and just see the different manufacturers and see what's new. I mean, this year it was a corky show. That's all it was a different colors and different different sizes and all that. But other than that, it's pretty neat. So, but I just don't think the word got out. Hopefully he'll get it out next year. So.
Yeah, I think he will. He's pretty good. I think especially with the road to the opens, what he's doing with ICAST. I mean, you don't really see that around here. I mean, I respect to everybody. I mean, but he's doing a lot of really cool things. Same thing with. I mean, you brought up the solo
top 100.
Top 100. I mean, you see what Randy's doing with that. I mean, he's doing an amazing job.
Yeah.
Freshwater FX. That's another one that's pretty new.
This bracket deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they have something this weekend. I can't remember.
I think that's that bracket. Them guys that qualified for that bracket.
Yeah, they're doing. I mean, so I think that's a really cool thing. I mean, you've been all around the country and fishing local stuff all over the country, but I always kind of feel like we're in a bubble here in the Ozarks. I feel like there's a lot of really good things going on, a lot of different takes, on the traditional, like the bracket ideas, different incentives, this and that. I mean, what do you think the coolest thing that you've seen from a local tournament perspective as far as incentives or, add-ons, minus a boat, obviously.
Right.
But, what do you think there?
What the format you mean referred to or
like things like the bracket or maybe incentives like going to ICAST or open.
So I will tell you, to be honest, and unfortunately, and Joe and both of you know this, that what we had going on with the old Solo Pro was pretty doggone cool. You think about what what was there, Joe and you guys behind that, you had the website where the guys, they got to be a part of the website. You had the anglers profiles on there and the way the brackets were set up and the videos that Joe put together and that were on social media, and I was surprised how many people watched and followed that and paid attention. I walk around, especially in Kansas City and Nebraska, and people come up and say, "Oh, I saw you on the Solo Pro video." That. So, and everybody wants to feel like they're a part of something or be something, and that's what attracted me to the Solo Pros, was one individual deal, not kind of tired of the co-angler thing, and just felt like you were part of the next level up, kind of got your story told, and just felt like you were doing something pretty, had a goal to strive for. Go back like to present day, I think Randy's doing a great job. I hope that he doesn't have too much going on, you know what I'm saying, that it gets overwhelming, because he is involved with a lot of stuff there. He's got the SQs going on, he's got his regular tournaments going on, and keeping track of that, but so far so good. And then the Heartlands, I really like the road to the opens. I think if he could play on that, that would be, something that could get him, some larger fields. I don't know much about the Skeeter one that we talked about.
FX.
The FX. Yeah, but those incentives were got, because that's, you look at the federation tournaments, the BSS federation tournaments, or just the federation itself, how they get their English is, it's an opportunity to get to the classic. The original goal of every angler was one day to be to the classic. That would be really cool. So that's kind of, the Heartland's got that going for it. And that's pretty cool. So, but anywhere where you could, especially nowadays, it's gotten to be so expensive. Gas is expensive, boats or, I mean, heck, I saw Ford advertising and they were proud of it. There was a brand new truck they were launching, was $150,000. I was like, oh my gosh.
The heck?
It was it the Raptor or was it the Shelby? It was like their new Shelby. Yeah. So
that's insane.
But that Raptor was right up there,
yeah,
in dollars too. So, and you look at some of these new boats that come out with hardly anything on it, they're $80,000 plus, and
you can finance it for 50 years, Frank.
Yeah,
ain't really that much. A couple $100 a month.
Yeah, yep, you can, and that's why it just surprises me every day when I go to the lake and I look around and I see guys that were, they were super young, and see the boats and the trucks they're going. I'm like, what in the world is this? And we used to call people house rich. Now they're boat and truck rich, is what they are.
Living in a one-man shack down the river.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just it's amazing, but good for them. But it is, you're going to have to find something like that, like the road to the opens or whatever, because it's, especially if it's an individual, a solo type tournament, because things have gotten so tight and so expensive. You don't have as many anglers to participate into it. So, and then as Joe knows, you got to make, well, both of you got to make those rules and everything pretty clear, because you get it too confusing and too complicated, then they're out. They're not going to give you the money. So, but yeah, it's one of those deals. So,
what a deal. Well, Frank, where can everybody find you? I know you got a YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's just, Frank Flack Fishing YouTube. I've been trying to grow that. 2 years in a row, I had some problems with emails, and I lost subscribers. And but I'm starting to grow them back. And I'm 61 years old. I'm probably too old to play around on Instagram, but I like playing with it a little bit, and Facebook, and the same thing. It's just Frank Flack Fishing, and have fun with that, and do it more just to support my sponsors. I have a really good friend in Tennessee, in White Bluff, Tennessee, called Sino Marine, and he is taking care of me. He keeps me on the water whenever there's something wrong with a trailer or boat or engine or whatever, and we're best friends. And then of course Gary at Phoenix, and Optima batteries and Ducket rods, and just have fun just playing and supporting them. So.
Yeah. On the one last thing on the battery situation, because I know you run all lithiums now.
No, yes, I have lithiums now. Yep. For years I ran the AGMs, the blue tops, and never had a problem.
So you think they're going to make a boat, because you have to put weights or sandbags or something?
No. I made that mistake. So I run a 21 PHX Phoenix, and I did the math, and I was like, well, I'm going to have to put some weight back there in the back of my boat, and I put the 4-bat lithiums in there, and the orange tops. And then I put a bunch of BB sandbags, weighted bags like you would for a wake boat. And I put them back there, and the boat slowed down. And I was like, what the hell? So I started pulling weight out, and as I was pulling weight out, I noticed I was getting some, better performance. And the PHX is not a fast boat. It's made for, deeper water. It was made for up north. It's got a taller gunnel and everything else. So and I got that boat because I was thinking about Lake of the Ozarks, because I hate those wakes, but it does great. Yeah, I ended up not needing to add any weight to that boat after putting those in there.
Okay.
Now, some of the older boats, I know some guys that had Tritons, and some of the other boats, they did have that problem, especially, a boat that's a performance speed boat. I mean, I think that plays into a factor more than like what I'm fishing out of. So,
Okay. And you not any bad, I mean, you've had good luck with lithiums.
So like my blue tops, I ran, I've gone, what was I want to say I went 3 or 4 years without ever having to replace a battery on my blue tops, and never had a problem with them. These orange tops, these lithiums here, the lake that I live on is, it's a no wake lake. And with my boat, I've got a idle everywhere I go. And I end up just using my trolling motor all day, and I'll go out there and fish all day. And I'll be probably surprised if I get a battery down below 80%. And it's and I mean these things do work, and I've done it, and I can run all 5 screens, have live wells full, aerating water, have my trolling motor running, and I'm saying that I'm not getting below 80%. It's probably 85, 80 something, and that's saying a lot. And leaving the back screens, I don't even know why I leave them on. I think I just leave them on because I want them on, and I don't have, knock on wood, I haven't had a problem yet. So yeah.
What charger are you using?
So I will tell you, and even though Power Pole is one of the guys that I work with, I had their Power Pole charge, and it's really designed for a 3 battery setup than a 4. When you start expanding and having to do these, special wire setups and everything, I started noticing issues, and they did not do that well with my lithiums. And so, God, what's it called? Iconic, I think it is. I can't remember. Yeah,
like a blue silver.
So that's who they've got a 4 bank charger that I put in there, and it's got a lithium setup and everything. And I'm telling you, it's been awesome. It's not an issue whatsoever. Now, what's the great thing, and I think some of the other lithium batteries do this, but the Optima batteries, they'll Bluetooth to an app on your phone, and they will tell you exactly where they are as far as a charge and everything else. And so I just have to pay attention to my phone, and I can see where I'm at. So yeah.
As of today, they don't make a charger though, do they?
They do, but not a true marine one that goes into the boat. They haven't gotten that far yet. So yeah. But these orange tops are the deal. I've really lithiums. That's the other thing. They are a little pricey, but once you're in there and you get them, they'll last for a long time. And,
I mean, some of them's got, I may speak out term, like 10-year warranty. Some of them's got crazy warranties.
These are lifetime.
Wow,
that's crazy.
Yep. They'll just replace them. They don't have a problem. I've never had a problem. I was the Optima battery rep in the Southeast for 11 years, and it's funny. I used to have a pallet of blue tops in my garage, and they would call me up and say, "Hey," that's how I met Aaron Martins. Called me up. There was on Kentucky Lake fishing a BASS tournament, one of the last elites there, and he was very bad about not plugging. He did everything else meticulously. He was bad about plugging his freaking boat in the because he would come in, park, people would start talking, he'd start working on baits. The next thing you know, it's like 11 o'clock at night, and he's just fished real hard all day, and then he plug my batteries in. Well, you need some time. Then he'd call up and say, "My batteries are dead. I got bad batteries." Like, "No, you didn't. You forgot to plug them in, didn't you?" Well, he didn't want to hear that. So then I'd have to take a 2-hour trip to the dam to give him brand new batteries and put them in there for him, and then go. But my point being is, I had a garage full of batteries, and never once I can remember of ever having to pull from that pallet to put them in my boat. It was always good.
I mean, if you got some now, you can donate them
I
to the mass.
I wish I did. I didn't. I actually moved to Kansas with extra set of 4, and they sat in my garage for 5 years, and I moved here to Lee Summit, and I just replaced them just to replace them. And that's the other great thing about those are AGMs. They have an awesome shelf life. They can just sit and not go bad. You just plug them in, they'll just recharge.
That's
so
cool.
That's better than a wet battery, or anything like that. So,
I knew
But
Frank would have all the answers and
Right.
information. We
Got
could
all the
probably sit on
answers
here
and-
for hours
I know it.
and we'd learn a lot. I knew it.
well,
I knew it.
well, hopefully we won't have anybody that wants to say, "Oh, he didn't know what the heck he was talking about." You know, here's what the
Man,
here's what
I'm sure that we will. And
what happens every time. So
yeah, and then you could just beat the crap out of it for us.
yeah,
What if you're on camera, please?
yeah. Put it on camera. Speaking of that, did you guys? So I bring this up because I saw this post just an hour ago. Did you see the guy that jumped out of his car and leaped off the Kimberlin City Bridge?
I just seen his face.
Looked like you, Joe. I thought it was you.
Running from the cops.
It was. Just don't tell anybody.
Man, I mean,
Did you see him? And he did a full
I just
arms to his side, he'd dive right over the rail.
I didn't see the video. I seen his face like looked like he got beat up or something.
I'm sure when he hit that freaking water at that height, he got the heck beat out of him.
Yeah.
Watch the video. He goes into like arrow mode where he's just straight up and down and off the side he goes. It's
Nice.
unbelievable.
I mean, it has to be what,
I mean, that's one way to do it.
50, 60 feet?
And I know that's like concrete down there once you hit at that freaking, and it was either early in the morning or late and it was dark, one way or the other. So
I didn't get away though.
yeah.
That's a bummer.
Would you imagine? Lucky there wasn't some John boat fishing the pillar down there, and that's what all of a sudden you're fishing and boom, where did this come from?
I mean, I would have done it when the water was like 30 feet high and you just had to jump 6 foot,
Yeah. Yeah.
not 60.
Yeah, just amazing. But yeah,
That's hilarious. What people do, but well, Frank,
yes.
we greatly appreciate it. We went
Well,
over our 40 minutes, but we appreciate you being on, man.
Yeah, nope, I've enjoyed it. So, stay in touch and let's go fishing one time. I'd love to do that. That's something that, well, Joe and I have done it, but of course, not all of us. We need to go back to last time you and I fished together. We had that issue with the live wells there at Palmy. So,
Man, we still called him that day too.
yeah.
Yeah, he looked at the live well. I was like, do you want to just go fishing? I'm like, yeah, let's go. And we caught him flipping brush hogs, and
Well, dang, man.
yeah, that was fun.
All right.
I would have had a good, I would have had a good showing in that tournament, and it just was so hard to, man, that was tough. But you had to play by the rules, and I would have done it whether you were there or not. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
yeah, I got that
Unfortunately.
fixed now. You need to have the guy from Fish 2.0 on, have you?
Yeah, we had Josh on.
Yes, Josh.
No, we haven't had Josh
No,
Davis on.
Yeah, we've talked to him a few times.
We've talked to him a few times, but we haven't
we
had
need to
him
have
on
him on.
here. But I know Josh because I've
That
got it on my
thing-
boat.
I'm going to tell you, they work then, don't they? I mean, it has been,
Yeah.
it was amazing. I've had mine for a year and something, at least a year and 3 months. And the side that I used the most, which was the pasture side, finally ran out on me. And I was out here in my lake fishing. It was a hot day. And my partner looked down. He said, man, this is the first time I've seen fish kind of starting to roll over in your live well. And I'm going, what? And I immediately reached down and popped that thing off and looked, and it was gone. And so we just switched them over to the other live well. And guess what? They perked right back up and we're fine. Yeah, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, it's
you
a
know,
pretty
and-
cool system. We put it on ours. Well, he finally come out with just I think you can just replace the
One side.
one side. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And that's perfect. And it was so funny. The next weekend I fished the Heartland and came in 10th, and so I had the last 5 fish stringer, and they give a prize away. And guess what it was? The one Fish 2.0 pack, and that's what I needed. And I was like, all right, perfect.
Perfect timing.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's a cool product. I'm surprised that wasn't at like an iCast.
So I noticed some more social media posts about it and everything, and I think people are still just getting the word out about it. I mean, people regionally were, like us here, know about it very well, and it's become very popular. But I am surprised there hasn't been more, just more marketing and everything done, because I think that he could do very well with it. iCast is okay. That's where a lot of people think that it's a big deal. I mean, to be honest with you, iCast is a place where a bunch of wannabe anglers walk around with their resumes and ask for handouts, if you know what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
Well,
that's why you and me can't. I mean, I can go, but that's why you could go, because you have a podcast. You could get in there and do, tell them you're going to do reports. But the regular angler, consumer, it's not a show for them. It's there for dealers to go buy stuff, Shields and Rogers Sporting Goods and, Bass Pro and all them. So, yeah.
I just hear you pretty much know what it is because of social media now before you ever go. Like the week before you go, like the Garmin Live Scope came out before.
2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
2 weeks before. No, 2 weeks before. And the show's not that big because you really think about it nowadays, there's less, right? There's less. You've got GSM, you've got Rapala, and you've got, whatever. But then the rest of the show is full of guides and just these small little unique little tackle or trinket store, kind of manufacturers that and kind of really don't pertain. So, but whatever. So, but anyway, I better let you guys go before it gets we're almost to an hour. So, it's been pretty awesome.
We appreciate it, man. It gives us some content to, throw on our channel and all the stuff that you guys do. And I knew you knew a lot of people. So no, I appreciate it, man. I think I watched a little bit with you and was it on Randy's?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we had some just like you talked about. I mean, this thing is, you try to get the best equipment we had and we just had a bad connection somehow. And we thought, everything was recording like we thought. And then all of a sudden halfway through, we didn't, there was video, but no sound, so just, that's how it goes sometimes. So,
well, if we don't have sound in this, we'll put sound on your lips, like the Chinese, like your lips talk and then it speaks.
You want fat bass.
Fat bass is the best thing.
Yeah. I love fat bass.
Yeah.
I give them lots of money.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. No, but that's awesome. And
what do you think of fat bass? I know you're not in it, but what do you think?
So far, it looks. I've been seeing more and more content and seeing more people talk about it. I've seen stuff on social media, and seems to be gaining popularity. So, I'm just waiting until it's up to $1 million and then I'll give you my $25.
Well, dude, so that'll be tomorrow because we really just want your $25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're hoping to pay out a couple spots this year. We're trying. We're getting.
Yeah, we're to that, Frank. We're to that point where we're like right there. Like we're almost, breaking even. We're almost making money.
Yeah,
it's like again, we're never the.
So what's the average size fish that's been the winning fish so far? What have you?
Man, I'd say
there's the stat. There's what you need to cover to keep in touch track. Because you could track some data there that could be worth something to some people about where, what's the average fish showing, what I'm saying? Is it a bank fisherman? Is it a bass fisherman, tournament fisherman? Who's sending this stuff into you and where are they catching them and that kind of stuff? So,
yeah,
I'd say since that 7 pound, it has to be up there in the 5 now.
Yeah. Right now there's a 6 pounder lead. I would say around 6 average, but that's the thing. You mentioned that, Frank. We do have all of that, and we should. I would say by the end of the year we could have, because we started in March, and by the end of the year, we should have
the average fish weight in. It's not a 6, but it has to be
average winning fish.
Average winning fish, but your average overall. What have you seen the most of? It's got to be probably a 4 something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
a lot of 4s.
A lot of 4s. We've got a few 3s. That's mainly for points, but a few 3.5 to 4s. 5s, you're getting up there. You can compete.
I think next year we'll have more, just because we probably only had not even 10 people in March.
Yeah,
wasn't it? So
yeah, and
now we're having
that's prime fat bass season.
I think this time next year we would have a very good idea of it's probably like the big bass bash. You got to have a 6 pounder to do.
So I just saw a report on Facebook that there was a guy posting and it showed the average. So like an 8 pound fish in Missouri is equivalent to a 10 pound fish in Florida, an 11 pound fish in California. And that's pretty cool. It was a 7 something. It was a 6 something, almost 7 pounder in Kentucky. And Tennessee was like Missouri. It was about an 8 pound average, 8 to 9 pounds. So, that's the kind of stuff that you could eventually be able to say, I've got proof right here. This is what it looks like. So,
yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we're excited for it. We're excited to, especially in all the lures and how you're catching them. We have that.
And the lake location, because if you guys could eventually say, the majority of our 7 pounders have been coming from Stockton, not Palmy. You know what I'm saying? Or coming from Lakeville, or you know what I'm saying? You could start. Yeah. And that would definitely get people's attention.
Yeah. Because people start gravitating towards this lake, that lake.
I think it would help tournament directors too on their scheduling. If you
there's where you sell data.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Frank's on the board.
Frank's on the board.
Frank's on the board. Yeah. Now you're going to be broke. If you're on a board, you're probably going to be broke, but
Yeah.
Yeah. Hope you're ready to lose a bunch of money.
Yeah. But that's where
We
you
do this
start
for
to think
tax
about.
write-off. That's it.
That's where you start to think about that. I mean, you start collecting that information because you're getting it for free, and start collecting that. That could be useful. Could be really useful.
Yeah, we're gonna see this in a few years. We're gonna come back to your podcast, and we're gonna have all this data. It's like, man, Frank wouldn't have told us.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have all this data and tell me exactly what to do.
We'll see both of you sitting back with gold chains and all this other good stuff, and
my brand new Phoenix.
Yeah, Joe will have his souped up truck.
Like Flavor Flav,
Yeah, the fat bass chain right there.
There we go.
There you go.
We need to get one in.
Yeah.
That may be the name for the Angler of the Year, a chain.
Yeah.
Big fat bass.
Let's see. I don't know where my wife put it. Have you seen the championship, like
the belts? Yeah.
But so for like $170 or whatever, you can go have one made. So I do a thing with a distributor of mine that's, my biggest account. And every year we have a little like team building competition at the SHOT Show. One year I took them go-kart racing. One year we went darts. One year we went to axe throwing and that kind of stuff. Right. And somebody wins something. And so eventually it's gotten so popular that we started thinking, well, we need to have the goat belt or something. So I went and had a big belt that it says the goat and it says Hornady and Crow. And so that's this year, whoever wins will get to keep that for a year and then bring it to the next one. And then we'll just keep handling it over and over again. So
Or you just buy that online?
What's that? Yeah. You just look it up and they'll customize it for you. Hold on for 1 minute. It's right here.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
For the like.
Yeah, we gotta have something.
Bass of all time.
I feel like
boat.
We get ahead of ourselves here.
Bass of all time.
You heard it. Joe is gonna finance that, not me.
No, I meant that's what instead of GOAT, BOAT. Bass of all time.
Yeah. Do you see that?
Oh, nice.
Trophy smack.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now you're just flexing on us, Frank.
Man, that's cool.
Dude, that's cool.
Look at that.
They put a logo on it.
Yeah, they put a logo, and so and then even on the sides, you see there's Crow and there's Hornady on the other side.
Oh.
It was like 180, something like that.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Trophy smaller.
I mean, it's just pennies to Joe.
Oh, geez.
But no, that's awesome.
But you think about that, that's, and it's just fun. It's for me, it just drives, more, helps just build the team and the relationship up and everything. And
yeah,
that's just cool as heck. And it means something. And they talk about it. The first thing I did was go-kart racing in Vegas. And every time we meet, that's what is brought up every time about how they whipped Jason Hornady's butt in go-karts or whatever, or the dart throwing, or we did pickleball in Kansas City one year, and the axe throwing and all that. It's pretty cool. So.
I like
it. But with your guys, is you can have where the goat have the fat bass challenge in the center, because that's all you got to do is send them an image and they'll put it on there. So
we try to come up with a name instead of Angler of the Year. That's what we have now, because you get $500 for all the points.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not really Angler of the Year. We're having, I don't know.
Yeah.
Trying to come up with a name for the end of the year.
Yeah.
You mean like for the title of the title of what it is, not Angler of the Year, but could it be?
Yeah, it's not really an Angler of the Year, because it's like Big Bass of the Year, or it's not even that. It's because you could weigh in 20 times and one guy has an 8-pounder but you beat him out because you've weighed in.
Because you're going once a month point type thing, right?
Yeah, and collected over the. I don't know.
Yeah.
Come up with something. Text me. Come up with something cool.
Yeah, I was trying to think of what do they do for poker, and what do they do for, you know what I'm saying? Like another sport that's other than an angler sport, kind of what are their titles? What are they? Yeah, I have to think of something.
Chris Dickherber had Fat Bastard of the Year.
Yeah, there's
that's going to be
Don't really want to put that on a belt.
Yeah, no, I don't think you want to put that on. Yeah,
depends on what size you are when you win it.
Yeah,
yeah. Well, Fat Bass Champion. I mean, it could be just. Yeah, it could be just Fat Bass Champion, a FBC.
Yeah.
It could be that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're on the board. You're on the board right there.
We need about $150 for next month, for this month to pay out. So just please write that to Fat Bass Challenge.
Yeah.
But that would work. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Fat Bass Champion, FBC. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
FBC. Yeah, and you do something, whether it's a little So that's the other thing that both Randy and I keep forgetting the guy's name that does the Heartlands. And I talk,
Kyle.
yeah, Kyle. Their trophies are unique as well, And I think Joe and you and I have talked about the money's great, but I like chasing after their trophies, and having something unique.
I hear that a lot whenever I was with Solo Pro. A lot of guys like the bling. A lot of guys wanted 5th place trophies.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's just something to put up and remember, because money goes fast, believe me. And, but you can look around and, I look around my office and just whatever, so it's always cool. Again, it's all about your ego, so.
I get it.
Yeah.
We're all narcissists. Is that what they say, or whatever that was called?
Something like that. Yeah.
All got a little bit of it.
Yeah.
All got a little bit in us. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So, but
Frank, thank you, man.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime. All right.
I'll be in touch, buddy.
Yeah. Talk to you soon. All right. See ya.